Our next guest this morning is an NHL legend. Understatement, severely. He played, well, what, 15 years or so in the league. He's in the Hockey Hall of Fame, and he still holds the record for the most points ever scored, 10 in a single NHL game. We're talking, of course, about the guy who's written this book, Darryl Sittler. He's also out with this book. It's a memoir of sorts called Captain, My Life and Career by Darryl Sittler and Mike Leonetti. Darryl here this morning. Thank you so much. I was telling you during the commercial that this is a great book. It's filled with pictures, filled with stories. Was that what you were going for? Or?
Well, I did an autobiography in the early 90s. Yeah, this whole thing was my late wife, Wendy, had kept a bunch of photos that people had seen. I had these stories in my head, both on and off the ice. I talked about some of the charity things I'm involved with, my relationship with Terry Fox, those sorts of things. And yeah, so that's what it is. It's more of a coffee table. You can pick it up, read a story or two. Totally not all hockey, but I think the fans like yourself will enjoy it.
Yeah, and you do not need to be a Toronto Maple Leafs fan. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
That's okay.
But we give Leafs fans a hard time here because this is Flames country, right?
Yeah.
Actually, Leafs are in town tomorrow.
Yeah.
Austin Matthews. What do you think of that guy?
He's a great player, and what's so nice that the league has so many good young players. And Calgary have a few of them, as does Edmonton, and it's great for the fans to watch. But we're excited. We have some good cornerstone players now, like Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner and a few other guys. So
good coach too. Mike Babcock's a good coach in Toronto. We have to roll the video here of that special night in February 1976, the 10-point night. I was showing this to my coworkers yesterday because Lanny McDonald, number 7, is in this. We're big fans of Lanny here. He's been on the show many times. What did you eat for breakfast that day? Do you remember?
I didn't have anything for breakfast, but believe it or not, I had Swiss chalet chicken.
Really?
In the seat of my car. I was behind schedule, so I grabbed a takeout order, and my wife was out shopping or something. So yeah, but I tried Swiss chalet a few times after. Didn't get 10 points.
It didn't get the 10
but I'll
point
always remember. Yeah, that night was special. It was great. It was against the original 6 teams, the Bruins. It was in Maple Leaf Gardens against the Boston Bruins, and Hockey Night in Canada. So a lot of people watched that game, and here we are 40 years later, 10,000 games later, and still hold the record.
I remember my dad. I was, well, not to date myself here, but I was 6 years of age in 1976, and my dad told me what had happened, and it led the National that night, the newscast.
Okay, cool.
Like, that's how significant it was. He's like, Teddy, you got to watch this and see, and that's what it was. And now I got to show this picture here, so we got to zoom in here. Darren's shooting this. This is you in the dressing room with the 6 pucks.
Yeah, after the game, the trainer gave me 6 bucks. They took that shot, and then I went to the National Hockey League and I asked him for the score sheet. So there's a piece, a memorabilia piece of the Toronto Sun, the photo that was in the Toronto Sun the next day, and the score sheet, and it's interesting because it was all kind of hand written back then.
Right?
And, so yeah, those are nice memories to have.
Now this one, Darren, you're going to have to zoom in really tight on this next picture here. I have to find it because this one is a classic. Because a lot of people who don't know Maple Leaf Gardens and the Toronto Maple Leafs, we got to zoom in. So Darryl's sitting right here, Darren, and you got to get in really tight. But fans there's Lanny McDonald is right here, but fans were right beside you.
Yeah.
Do you remember what you were talking about?
Well, the 2 guys right next to me are our team doctors, so they're looking over. Both of those guys have operated on me over the years. One's a plastic surgeon, the other's a orthopedic surgeon. But yeah, it's interesting because the fans are right behind. Nowadays, the security is so tight. You come out, they got things over top of you. The fans really can't get at you. Players drive into the building and no access to
I'm going to lower this because everyone, if we can come back to the shot, guys, I'm just showing the fans now behind the bench. That was the standing ovation you were getting. Well, that's that picture, right? Do you remember what people were hollering or anything, or was it all just too surreal?
Well, it was a bit surreal. I didn't even realize what the record was until at the end of the second period. Our statistician came in and said, Darryl, you got 7. If you get 1 more point, you tie Rocket Richard's record. But the same thing that night, Harold Ballard had, when you scored a goal, the Leafs scored a goal, a horn went off. So that created a little bit more excitement. And when you're playing an original 6 team in Maple Leaf Gardens, there's lots of enthusiasm. And the Bruins were coming off a 12-game winning streak. So for us to hammer them 11-4 gave our fans something to cheer about for sure.
That's unbelievable. And of course, 40 years later, this past February, you were honored at the Air Canada Centre now where the Leafs play. Another special night for you.
Yeah, Dave Reese came back, the 40th anniversary of and we had all the players back that played in that game. But something that just happened at the start of the season this year, they retired all the players' numbers. They were honored before. very emotional night for all of us to have our numbers up there forever, so to speak, and lots of good things happening in our centennial year with the Leafs.
There you go, big number 27. Up in the rafters.
There's Dave Reed. That was the last game he ever played in the National Hockey League, so he was a good sport of coming back. The fans loved it to be back for the 40th anniversary. So.
Did you rib him? Like again when you saw him face, like, that was...
Yeah. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have this record. I mean, really.
Fair enough. Yeah. Fair enough. The book is called Captain My Life and Career. Darryl Sittler. You can actually meet Darryl tonight if you go to the Indigo Books at Signal Hill. It's from 7 until 8:30 tonight. Of course, Signal Hill in the southwest part of the city. From 7 to 8:30, go get the book, and Darryl will autograph it. Here it is here, the captain. And an inside joke on this show, Darryl, we have to tell you about, is myself and our weather guy, Andrew Schultz, we're huge fans of Swiss Chalet. So for you to say that is what you ate before the 10-point night, Andrew Schultz, that is immense.
Yeah. It's a whole new level of respect. Next time he's in town, we have to go get some Swiss. Oh, my God. Extra sauce. We'll just be I'm going to wear a bib. It's going to be crazy.